Chernobyl, the night that changed the world. On the night of April 26, 1986, a simple test at the Chernobyl Nuclear Power Plant in Ukraine turned into one of the worst disasters in human history. The goal was simple: to see if the turbines could provide enough power during a blackout to keep safety systems running. At first, everything seemed normal. During the day shift on April 25th, workers began lowering the reactor's power. But because of unexpected demand for electricity, a test was delayed and passed to the night shift. The night crew was not very experienced with this type of procedure. Still, instead of stopping the test, they decided to continue. After midnight, the reactor's power dropped far below where it should have been. Instead of staying around 700 megawatts, it fell to just 30. At this level, the reactor became extremely unstable. Xenon gas began to build up inside the reactor, blocking the nuclear reaction and making the situation even more dangerous. Normally, the test should have been stopped at this point, but the operators chose to keep going. They pulled out most of the control rods in an attempt to raise the power. This decision turned the reactor into a ticking time bomb. By 1:23 a.m., the situation was completely out of control. Operators pressed the emergency shutdown button, hoping to stop the reactor. Instead, the reactor's power suddenly surged. A deadly design flaw in the control rods caused this increase. For a few seconds, the graphite tips actually made the reaction stronger. Before slowing it down, those few seconds were enough to trigger the disaster. First, a massive explosion shook the reactor. Then a second explosion tore it apart completely. The roof was blown into the air, and tons of radioactive material were released into the sky. The night was suddenly filled with fire, smoke, and invisible poison, according to official records. About 30 people died shortly after the accident. But the real danger could not be seen. Radiation spread across Europe with the wind and rain. 2 days later, alarms went off at a nuclear power plant in Sweden. That was when the world realized something had gone terribly wrong. Food was destroyed, milk was dumped, and people were told to stay inside. Parents tried to protect their children without fully understanding the danger. Meanwhile, the nearby city of Pripyat was evacuated in a hurry. About 50,000 people left their homes, believing they would return in a few days. They never did. The city was left frozen in time. Playgrounds, schools, and apartments were abandoned and slowly fell apart. In the years that followed, hundreds of thousands of workers, known as liquidators, were sent in to clean up the disaster. Many of them paid with their health, and some with their lives. Even today, no one knows the exact number of victims. Estimates range from thousands to tens of thousands. Chernobyl changed the way the world thinks about nuclear power. It showed that even advanced technology can become deadly when combined with human error and poor design. Mistakes made in a single night can leave scars that last for generations.